Joe presents Liquid Football, sponsored by Paddy Power.
Welcome to Liquid Football here on Joe, sponsored by Paddy Power, the show that takes you inside the dressing room and in the boots of the players. Joining me this week, Wayne Bridge and Steve Sidwell, and a warm welcome to former Liverpool defender, Mr. Stephen Warnock. We're going to start, guys, by talking about England, because they've impressed everyone, really, in terms of finishing top of the group for qualifying for Euro 2020, scoring a ridiculous amount of goals, 37 goals in 8 matches, 7 wins out of the 8 games. But there still seems to be a little bit of negativity, doesn't there, around this team? They seem to be a bit of a mixed bag, this Gareth Southgate setup.
I mean, it goes back years, doesn't it? They've always been the best team to qualify, and then when it gets to tournament football, they just sort of... They haven't either come up against good opposition before that, just like the few warm-up games before. So there was always going to have that element, but I think we've got to be one of the favourites, surely, no? As you go into the tournament, especially attacking wise and stuff, I think we look devastating on the attack.
Look great in qualifying, but it's easy, isn't it? That's the only thing. Yeah. The groups are easy, aren't they? They're not
There's always
hard.
a lot of pressure as well, isn't there?
What, because they know they got to top the group.
Yeah, like I feel like unless you win and don't concede a goal, they're always going to get a little bit of stick somehow.
Yeah. Well, that's the press for you, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's what they...
Did you guys feel that with... I mean, Wayne, with qualifying, when it came to qualifying to a tournament, that there's this... the pressure, obviously, of how you're going to do in the tournament, and the qualifying just seems a completely separate issue, and you can't really put a marker on what that team's going to be like when it comes to a World Cup or to a Euro.
I think for me, I just thought I was never going to play. I was always going to sit on the bench. That's I never really
Imagine how
felt any pressure.
You had 30-odd caps.
I don't like. This is the thing, though. We went to football when we went to Qatar, and we were playing Brazil, and he was playing in the game, and he said to me, Capello went, "You'll be on at half time," and Bridgie's looking at me after like 50-60 minutes going, "When are you coming on?" I was going, "I don't know, I didn't even get on."
Your England debut, you came on for Wayne Bridge, under Fabio Capello,
for the 6 shortest minutes of my career. And he said the same in that one, didn't he? "You'll be on at half time." Brilliant. So I got on like, go down, Bridgie, go down.
I don't think any of the players that would play in it would have felt the pressure. I don't think. The type of players that were there.
No.
You've got likes of Lampard, Stevie G, Ash. I don't think it would have bothered them.
No,
but so it's weird though. I mean, when you look at this group that Gareth Southgate's got, it's hugely talented, Steve, isn't it? Especially with the sort of exuberance of youth that he's put his faith in.
Yeah.
Would it annoy you as a player if you sort of getting 20 minutes here, 30 minutes here, for these qualifiers? They're sort of being treated like friendlies to a certain degree.
Yeah, I think in previous campaigns, the team near enough picked itself, didn't it? Whereas now the competition for places all over the park is really healthy. We're talking 3 or 4 players per position, so that's massive pressure to play well in, as you say there, whatever minutes you're going to get. I mean, Hudson-Odoi at the moment, he's kind of struggling, isn't he, with his performances, because he probably knows that he needs to take these opportunities now. Because what he got left now, 4 games.
He's not fit though, is he? He's just come back from like a bad
It's all different from everyone,
injury.
though. Like all the players, I mean, you look at Rashford last Sunday. Come on, bagged the goal, done really well. Looked effective. So
first time he's done that as well as a substitute for England, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, you look at nailed on starters, Harry Kane. Pickford, Sterling.
So I mean,
3 or 4 maybe
out of that
there.
team that started against Kosovo, you're probably looking at 4 players really in terms of Maguire that started that would start the first game, aren't you? In Chilwell, Maguire, Sterling, and Kane.
Yeah.
Would you add any others to that? I mean, Nick Pope, has he got a chance? Being England's number 1 for the
depends.
Euros?
I mean, I think the big thing is like you don't know what's going to happen from now till the end of the season form wise. If suddenly Pickford starts having a howler, and he's dropping him left, right and centre, then does he play him? Does he want to play it? Does he want to start him? That's the tough thing. You just don't know what the form book's going to go like, do you?
Yeah. But going back to the Hudson-Odoi thing as well, it's similar with you guys because you weren't permanent fixtures in that team. In an England setup. What is that like then when you're trying to prove but you're not getting many chances?
I don't know how you feel, but I mean, for me it was different because I felt like I was sat behind the best left back in the world.
Yeah.
And it was almost like, what do you do? Ash never got injured, never dropped his form.
Yeah.
Every time he played for England, I think he's been
He's one of the best England players
ever.
I think, yeah.
And that's like, you couldn't knock him.
You were the supply teacher that never got.
Yeah, so when you got called up, you half knew. Like when I went to World Cup, I knew I was never going to play, and it was like, well, other people would die for that opportunity to go to World Cup.
But you have to train and keep the mindset like you're going to be in it.
That's what you do, isn't it?
Yeah.
You just naturally get into that rhythm. Not really.
No?
I don't think so. I think it's just an acceptance that you know where you are, and then if he was to suddenly get injured, then you're ready, aren't you?
When you get a chance as well, if they make too many changes, the team is not going to play how they have been playing. So if they're playing really well, if you change one or two players, I think you can settle into that team. But if you change like a lot of them, there's a lot of pressure on everyone. Then everyone's making bad decisions because they want to impress. It's hard. I think if you change one or two, then it's easier. But I think if you change the whole lot, they haven't gelled that much together.
Is it not crazy though that we're sitting here? You know, not us necessarily, but people are sitting there picking the bones out of this England team. It's an exciting team. It's a young team. It's probably got, you can see this team, all right, maybe not man for man, position for position, but 10 years ahead where it's going. Yeah. And we're sort of being critical about them.
That's just the English though, isn't it? Yeah. That's always English. Yeah. Oh, yeah, we're doing really well, but when we get to a tournament, we're going to get beat, and it's never... You know, bright and bubbly. You know, they got that. I mean, the World Cup experience alone will be massive for them, the players that went there. So I think defensively, that's one area that we do look vulnerable, and that could be the chopping and changing between the two centre halves. I mean, again, right back. You got Kyle Walker, Trent, Wan-Bissaka, Trippier. It's like
so many options. Yeah.
So, but. It's an exciting times, really good times, to go and support England playing in tournaments.
How many times have we said that as well?
Yeah, true. Yeah, I'm optimistic with this one. I really am.
Well, there's a few experiments as well, weren't they? The Winks Rice experiments.
I think it's tough in that position. I still feel like Henderson's sort of the key player in there, as in experience, understands the position. Happy to play, like Bridgie said earlier on. People like him don't feel pressure because they've got the pressure of playing for Liverpool every week. Won trophies now, picked up the Champions League. So I don't think he'd feel that pressure as much as a Declan Rice would. And that's not being disrespectful to the club he's at, but there comes an added pressure when you play for a Liverpool and you're competing at that level week in, week out.
Is it defensively then where England have got these problems? Because clearly going forward and the goals that they've scored in this campaign, 37 goals is... I mean, France scored 23 goals in a group which is probably of equal standard, if not, slightly better. England don't have a problem going forward, do they? They don't have attacking.
No, but then you've got to get a balance, haven't you?
Yeah, is that the issue?
It's always the hardest thing, isn't it? Because when you're playing in games like that, everyone's bombing forward thinking, I want to get in on the act here, I want to score goals, and you switch off defensively because you just think they're not that good and it's easy. And that's the balance that you've got to try and get right. And I still think that's the biggest problem Gareth had, even at the World Cup last year. Didn't know the best formation to play, didn't quite work out the balance last year in the World Cup as to how to be solid defensively but then be an attacking unit. And now he's flipped it on his head and he's gone very attacking. And now he looks suspect defensively.
Do you think he does? I mean, he says he knows his best team. Do you boys think that he knows his best team and best formation given what we've seen in these qualifying campaigns?
Yeah, I think he does.
Yeah,
I think he does. I don't think there's going to be no surprise packages, is there, from now until then? I think he'd know. He'd know his system. I'd assume he'd go 4-3-3.
Yeah.
I just think it suits every player, doesn't it? It's what everyone plays in the club football.
I was about to say, we're not overlooking you, but
you overlook me. I've not performed at the highest level for the country, so you just cut me out and just speak to these two.
When you boys watch England, what does it do to you? I mean, you don't particularly like watching a lot of football anyway, do you?
No. It's time, really, with family, so I don't watch as much.
Yeah. But when you watch this England team, what does it do to you?
I think it excites me a little bit because they're young.
Yeah.
I think, definitely.
I love watching
they could gel a lot and they can grow together with people coming in and out. But like I say, I think it's his back four, maybe a defensive midfielder, which he's got to really go strong with, that he really believes in, and work with them. Yeah, I think.
I just think I'm one of them who's like quite patriotic. I love watching my country. I love, and like
you always like that as a kid before you played. Yeah,
I think it's every kid's dream to grow up and play for the country in whatever sport that they try and watch and follow. I was no different to that. So whenever England are on, I love watching them. I think it's great.
I think the whole country does, really. Yeah.
I know, but there's certain footballers who don't like watching England, isn't there? And certain players who don't.
There's certain fans who aren't that bothered
exactly,
about watching, There's more about, when's the Premier League back?
Exactly,
that's the thing, isn't it?
I went out to the semi-final, the World Cup.
Yeah.
Yeah, I took my three boys. And we was in and out of Russia within 24 hours because they had school the next day. Good story as well. When we got back a bit late the next day, and my son, I let him have the morning off, and then my eldest son, I took him to school, and it was on the register to say where he'd been, and the school knew that he'd been to thingy, and normally it says the name, it says what the reason why you're late, so normally it says like dentist, or he's just put in Russia on the school book. So the head teacher told us, which was quite funny, but that, I mean, the buzz and that around there at the time, I know it was a World Cup and we got a little bit carried away, but with the whole sort of, euphoria of it. But I think that's continued on, and as Bridgie said there, they're young, they're exciting. I mean, we look like a counter-attacking team. We look frightening. It's just now, when you come up against good opposition, like with Modric, he just controlled the game. We need to start getting that kind of player or that mindset to know that we can control games now, especially at the big stage.
Incidentally, France, outright favourites to win Euro 2020, 4-1. Oh, so joint favourites with England. The Paddy Power odds: 4-1 France, 4-1 England, 13-2 Belgium, 8-1 Germany. Any surprises in there for you? Would you fancy out there? If I could give you your charity
write the Germans off, eh?
Belgium, I worry about.
Belgium, yeah.
They're the ones.
I was surprised that Matty picked Russia against Belgium last week. I did try talking him out of it, to be honest. I have lost every bet I've done though so far.
Right, let's talk about this penalty incident with Northern Ireland. Stephen Davis was taking a penalty for Northern Ireland against the Dutch, ended up hitting it over the bar, but Michael O'Neill, his manager, afterwards suggested that the Dutch players, their protest put him off because it went on for a bit of a while. The keeper was getting involved as well. And he ended up missing. Look, Stephen Davis came out straight afterwards and said, it's my responsibility.
Yeah.
I can't blame anyone else. What did you make of that incident first?
Just one of them things.
Just happens.
Yeah, he strikes a lovely ball, doesn't he?
Yeah.
So it's just one of them things, it's that's the manager just taking a little bit of the pressure, a little bit of the flack off.
Does that time, I don't know who I'm looking at here, penalty takes probably more years.
This is where you come in.
Well, I've only took two. I've took two, missed one, scored one.
I took one, scored one.
Oh, well, there you go.
We need a different panel for this conversation.
I don't think it would affect if you're a chosen penalty taker, I don't think it would affect you at all. No, you're chosen. I think that's because you're probably the one who's got the most confidence, most ability. I don't think it would bother you.
Yeah,
it's so surreal though, because we've all been involved in penalty shootouts, and you just cannot recreate that.
No.
They try to build up to games. I'm sure, like we've all done it in the week, where when you practice them, you all start on the halfway line. You recreate the walk going up, but you walk up there, you're bouncing the ball, and you're just going to sort of stick it in the back of the net. Whereas when it comes to a game, it's just like the pressure and everything.
So I think when you're younger as well, when you're playing the youth teams all the way through, I think you should rotate the penalty takers for the whole squad throughout the season.
That's what they do in
so
Holland,
at least someone has to take a penalty every single time throughout the season, so everyone knows what that pressure is to feel what it's like.
Yeah. Have you got any examples then of you boys putting people off, or being put off back in the day?
It just happens all the time. It's like, well, you stand on the edge of the box and you're saying like, keeper's going to go to his right, he's going to his right, or
so you'd get up
goes
to it,
that way.
You'd get in their ear saying that.
Yeah, and you're just thinking, well, what's he thinking now? Is he thinking, does he go to his right, or I've done my own work and he goes to his left? And
what do they do? Just to piss off? What kind of reaction would you get?
Mad, aren't they? Well, depends.
I think the penalty take usually stays quite calm.
He'll stay calm. It's everyone else around, isn't it? The other teammates.
And the keeper's always trying to give him a bit as well.
Yeah, you must have. I mean, back in the day at Chelsea, Drogba, he was kind of. Everyone has their style, don't they? Those penalty takers of just staying completely focused. I guess you can't look at people in the crowd behind you. Can't look at the keeper. You just got to look at the ball, and you're looking in the sky. Or everyone has their own way of dealing with it.
It's more than Lamp. I think Lamps took a lot of the penalties.
Oh yeah, of course.
And it was you never thought he was going to miss.
Yeah.
I don't know if he.
I don't think he
has. I don't think he ever has. Do you know what I mean? But I think anyone saying anything to him, he probably just laughed.
Yeah.
It's strange how different people like their preparations, because James Milner, he used to practice all the time, didn't it, at Villa on the Friday, 5 penalties, only 5, and he'd practice them as if they was a game, whereas Mark Noble at West Ham, he's never practiced them. Never. Just rocks up, and when it comes...
Brilliant, isn't he?
Yeah, that's what I mean. So, and his record's outstanding. So, but yeah, it happens all the time, the putting off. When you ring the D outside and you just...
Shouts as well, before they go.
Everything, yeah. Like,
these are the things we don't hear in the crowd. They're all the noise.
If it was Lampsey, I think anything I say ain't going to affect him anyway, or anyone who knows, like Stevie G, you wouldn't have affected him. It wouldn't matter what you said.
Yeah,
I think.
And then you don't want to feel a mug as well if you're giving them loads and then you score and you turn around, look at you straight away, and you just think, oh no.
The keepers do most of it, don't they? The keepers coming
It
out.
ends up being a Van Nistelrooy Keown situation, doesn't it?
I'm telling you though, when you do step up to take that goal, shrivels. I'm telling you, the keeper looks massive.
Anything else shrivel?
I don't know if it's the crowd, but it does. It just seems so small.
Have you got any examples of mates? I mean, what would you say to a mate? Is it different? Because it must get quite nasty if it's someone you don't know. Go for them, if you really want to put them off, start saying some things, trying to get inside their head. There must be players as well who it's easier to get in their heads than others who are just like Lampard is just going to tuck it away.
I think you've got to be careful who you choose, haven't you?
Yeah. But I've sort of played against Bellamy and with him. He knows who he can get on. He just knows, and you hear him, he's just on the person up non-stop, just constantly. But then I've seen it where I think it was Willow at Southampton, centre-back, Williams, and he just folded in the game, like he's making mistakes, and I just felt so bad for him.
Watching from Bella's just
constantly on him. He goes, see, look how shit you are shit. And I'm just like, I felt sorry for him, he's a teammate, and I'm like, what can I do? And I just like, felt so bad for him.
Everyone's completely different, aren't they? You can all have a manager trying to instill one mindset, but overall we all behave in very different ways.
very different. You got some that need like proper modly cuddling, arm around the shoulder, and then others, they need a battering. They need like effing and blinding, get in their face. So everyone's different, I suppose, isn't they?
I couldn't batter someone, I don't think, because if someone was battering me, I'd probably feel a bit low. Yeah. Last thing I needed someone battering me. I remember Kieran Dyer, we must watch the game on telly, and I made a mistake on, like the 33rd minute, and he texts me, what about you on the 33rd minute when you did this? What were you thinking? And I'm like, it's the last thing I needed to read. I'm like,
when you play bad, even at half time, you don't need someone telling you. Some people love telling you.
Kieran was
deflect off themselves.
He was one of the worst by far, Kieran.
Yeah, you get deflectors.
He did that regularly, did it?
Yeah. Him and Bellas were quite good friends as well. They used to batter each other a lot.
That's like sitting back and watching the crocodile being lowered into the shark tank. Seeing them go.
I remember we play England-Brazil. The quarterfinals. Remember Ronaldinho's free kick?
Yeah, Seaman.
Remember the first goal? I think Ronaldinho done a step over an Ash. He'd done Ash. Kieran was off the bench clapping, and I was thinking to myself, what are you doing? Then they scored. Kieran was like, going back to the bench. Oh no!
Wow. What, clapping the skill?
Clapping the skill.
Oh right.
But obviously they scored after, and he was so awkward. They scored. But like Kieran would end up bringing it up to him. Oh, what about when he sat you down? But I thought it was too much sometimes.
There must be bits like that where things have gone too far, and then there's just that awkward silence that you can't bring back things which still hurt.
There's a couple of players that could take it too far, definitely.
But they was together at West Ham.
Yeah. Well, that
Kieran and Bellas.
Newcastle.
Yeah.
Newcastle.
Oh wow.
So together, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They used to batter each other all the time.
Yeah, imagine them two ganging up as well.
It'd be hard, wouldn't it?
Right, it is time for the Paddy Power Challenge. One of you three are going to win £250 for a charity of your choice, courtesy of Paddy Power. Last week, Matty Upson won the £250. He also put his £250 bet on Russia to beat Belgium. A bizarre choice. They were beaten by 4 goals to 1. Russia. But this week we sent the boys out for a bit of freestyle busking.
Roll up! Freestyle busking, here we go! What a guy. Let's not be shy, ladies and gentlemen. We'll start off with a good one. Don't be shy, sir. Let's get involved here, please. 20 pence. Hello, sir. How are you? Thank you very much. Here we go. Oh.
What are you looking at here?
I don't know. I'm trying to figure that out now.
He's doing all right. He's doing very well.
Entertaining. It's going to be a tough one to follow.
Who wants to get involved? Freestyle busking.
Do you know who these gentlemen are with the football?
No, I don't watch football.
Not your thing. Do you want to have a go? I can hold your lunch for you.
No, thanks.
Let's get this one up in here. Come on, Ronnie. Come on, yeah, Bridgie. Thanks. Let's go. Do you get involved?
2.
3. No worries. That's one. Ah! There we go! He got past the edges. Nice one, brother. That's me done.
Right, here we go. Couple of keeping ups. Oh, yeah. Right. Do you want to donate? Want to see a trick? Oh God, I've done my hamstring. I've got the old trusted one, which is simple.
So these guys, we just found them on the street here. Do you think they could maybe make it as professionals one day, these freestyle?
It's a big ask for them. It's a big ask, I'd say.
Wayne Bridge.
Who's the other one?
I don't know the other one.
Who's the one doing the tricks?
It's
He's played for Liverpool, Aston Villa, Leeds, defender, played for England.
I recognise him, but
He's going in, here we go.
Pull your rod down. Headers. Can you head it? Yeah. Go on then, let's go. Oh.
Put that in the donation pot. The guy who's doing it now, he's never going to play for his country, is he?
Oh God, no. No, neither. No, I don't think all three of them wouldn't, to be honest with you.
Come on, Bridget.
So I've got no skill whatsoever. If any of you see me play, I can kick a ball and run, and that's about it. I don't think I've even done a step over in the Premier League, actually. You get involved? It's all for charity. How much money you got? What do you want to see? If you get past me... Oi! That's got to be £2. I'll let you have a go.
Do you think these guys have got what it takes to maybe make it on the club stage, the international stage?
Well,
Like this guy?
realistic, no, but let's think of a more creative answer. You know what? In his clothes that he's wearing, he's doing a good job, isn't he?
Oh, stop it. 2 times. Thanks, mate. Anyone else want to get involved?
Do you have any idea who he is?
No idea, do you?
You know he played for his country.
Oh, really?
You think he might have lost it?
Bit past the prime age, isn't he?
Right, gents, the results are in. In third place is Mr. Wayne Bridge with £1.63. In second place, Stephen Warnock, £2.70. And the winner, Steve Sidwell, £3.50. What's your charity? Where's the money going?
The charity is the Lullaby Trust, and it supports families with sudden infant death syndrome. And I'm going to put the bet on Liverpool at Crystal Palace at 2-5.
Lovely stuff. Good cause. Well done.
Thank you.
This is Liquid Football on Joe, together with Paddy Power. I'm Will Perry, joined this week by Wayne Bridge, Steve Sidwell and Stephen Warnock. And if you like what you see and hear, you can leave a review for us on YouTube and iTunes. Now, as you're probably aware, our very own James Haskell is currently appearing on I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here. So on the latest House of Rugby, Alex Payne, Mike Tyndall and Rob Vickerman discussed how they think he's going to get on in the jungle.
How do you think he's going to go?
Look, I see it happening 2 ways.
Is it shit or bust?
I think it's one of those where if he can, I mean, he's not going to get fed very much, so he's going to get grumpy.
Very angry. He won't sleep very much.
He won't sleep. So it could be he'd be all laughs and jokes, or it could literally, someone could really annoy him and he could choke someone out on live TV. So yeah, it's going to be, I don't know whether he's got any phobias in terms of...
He hasn't told anyone. I read my, whatever it was, Mail Online or whatever it was.
The accuracy of the Bible.
He won't tell anyone what his phobias are.
Which is exactly what you should do.
Yeah.
Because
he's playing the game.
Yeah.
It's good.
I
do think they're all going to go for him because he's the big lad. So anyone needs to get nominated for this next challenge? Come on, Haskin, you go, mate.
Yeah.
Of course, House of Rugby is available to watch on YouTube. You can download from your usual podcast provider. And don't forget to check out Joe's other shows as well. TKO with Carl Frampton and Pioneers with John Amici. Right, guys, I want to talk about Liverpool Sadio Mane. So during the international break, he was pictured getting off the Senegal team bus and he was carrying the water bottles, which doesn't sound absolutely ridiculous, but the more you think about that happening in the Premier League, that is ridiculous, isn't it? Have you ever seen anyone do that? Oh, I'll get those, boss, and carrying the kit bag or the water bottles off.
Yeah, considering how many staff there are now as well. I mean, I see the clip of that. He literally got off, didn't he? And there was just a big packs, wasn't there, the plastic, and he just literally give me 2 of them. I'll take them in as well.
Amazing,
so,
that.
Class, really good touch, but you know that's not forgetting where you've come from, your roots, and being grounded, isn't it, as well? So,
which we don't see enough of, do we, in the Premier League, or do we? Is that unfair?
Well, it's just one of them things that's been picked up on, I think, where you will find a lot of people behind the scenes will muck in and do the bit. They'll help out with the kit men and things like that. And that was the way we were always brought up. When you were a youngster coming through, you had to have played 100 games or something before you'd stop helping the kit man. And that was just, that was the way it was. Until you were, and you couldn't buy a certain car until you played so many games, could you? If you come into the car park with a new car after 5-6 games, it was like, who do you think you are?
You'd be slaughtered.
What are you doing? Yeah, and that was the way it was. But it's not surprised to see Mane doing that when you see the comments he made the other week where he was sort of like, money's not my drive. It's like, I know where I've come from. I know what's... I'm just trying to help send money back to my country and provide for them. So,
and this isn't like a PR thing. This is just from the heart. This is generally how they would behave. So interesting that you say that, because obviously now that's a completely different story. In terms of, like, for example, a car. No one's going to wait 100 games to get a car. They're going to get a car at 17, aren't they?
No, but I'm talking about a top of the range car. Like
no, I mean a top of the range. Like now, people would rock up at 18 with a top of the range car.
I think,
no one would slaughter them because they.
Yeah, the money's changed a lot though since we started. I don't think I wouldn't have come into big money at a young age.
No,
but I think as well, it's also people that you got around you. If you, I mean, the network around players, especially young players now. And everyone's got different backgrounds. Everyone, people have come from a solid family with brothers, sisters, all around. We've gone to good schools. Some people have come from a single parent that's come off an estate that's never been around money. So, they need the right people around them, whether it's going to be agents, financial advisors, family, just giving good advice, because you say everyone's different. Some people would rock up at 17 that's just got a big brand new contract and go and buy the first thing that they'd either, whether it's going to be a watch or or whatever, not thinking long term or what other people would be thinking.
But it's interesting because you work with the under 16s at Brighton.
Yeah,
so you must see some of this of guys who are on the verge of breaking into the first team or there or thereabouts.
Yeah,
having to keep them.
They're petrified.
Oh yeah. I think the biggest thing is the desire and hunger. That's what I kind of see now. Not just from the lads that are in the Brighton Academy. I think all over. I think it's a general thing now with the youngsters coming through now, because they're getting a lot early, and I know why. Their facilities and you want to give them every chance and the best chance to succeed. But sometimes it can just take their eye off the ball. So. I mean, for instance, for me, when I come through Arsenal's academy, we had the best of everything. But my dad kept me grounded. He owned a scaffolding company, and on certain days when we'd have a rest or day off, he'd be banging my door down at 6 o'clock in the morning, saying, "Come on," and I'd be down loading racks and loading the sweep in the yard and things like that. So, and he was like, "Look, if you don't liven yourself up, you could be doing this for a living like I have, or you've got a great opportunity here." So that was the kind of grounding that I had, but everyone's different. So.
And what about you guys? I mean, coming through the academy at Southampton, getting into that first team at Southampton, you at Liverpool, Stephen, there must have been a time where you've realised, look, I'm good enough and I can get into the first team here. And do you have to, you might get away with yourself, you might have to bring yourself back, you might need people around.
I think you're always working. I think I've always had a good work ethic in terms of always put the work in. That probably come from, like you said, my mum and my dad. They'd never let me slack off, or I had to do a paper round to earn some money and stuff like that. But I think as well, Southampton helped me in terms of the youth scheme they had. You had to do jobs then. It wasn't like you just go in and train. You had to do, clean the changing rooms, make sure all the kit was folded nicely. They'd go along and check door frames. If there's any dust, we'd be out running. So it's that kind of keeps you grounded a little bit, I think. So it depends how the club treat you as a kid as well.
To teach you to respect the players that are ahead of you. I mean, you would have had just people, they would have been that instant respect for the players that you were hanging around with anyway.
And I agree with Bridgie. I think it's where you're brought up, and the senior players as well. If the kit weren't folded right or the boots weren't cleaned right, you knew about it, didn't you?
Yeah.
And it was like, when you got to that stage, you try and pass that down to the kids as well. And it's almost like an arrogance now. It's like, who are you talking to? And that's the issue now, what Siddy's talking about. But I think mine was a little bit different in the fact that I was injured from 15 to 19. So I was petrified at what I could lose in that way. I'd seen it from a different way. Whereas Siddy's talking about, like his dad saying, you could end up here doing this as a job rather than keeping your eye on the ball. It was sort of, mine was took out, it was from being injured and realising what I could lose out on.
Yeah.
And sat watching the lads running around the footy pitch every day training,
which is the
games.
hardest thing as well.
That's the hardest thing.
Yeah,
it's not nice at all. So I think that's where I'm completely different in that way, is that I've seen it from a different side.
Were there people in that Liverpool dressing room who would have just battered you?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I was always scared to go in the first room dressing room.
Oh, got put in the bin upside down a few times. Yeah,
You got
by
put in a bin
J-Mo.
upside down.
Yeah. I remember going in as an apprentice. You got like 2 weeks work experience when you were 14 or 15 while you were in school.
Yeah.
I went into Liverpool. I was petrified.
Who put you in a bin?
David James.
He's a unit as well.
He would just pick you up.
Literally. But it was like, turned it round, boom, in. I was like, wow.
What had you done to get a bin?
I can't remember. I can't even remember what it was. I just remember being in the bin.
Okay, did you get out? Did you manage to...
I got out in the end. Yeah.
In the end.
But even when we were youngsters, there was a different sort of mentality from academy players or like A and B team as we were. And when you went in, it was like you had to go in the second year's changing room and they'd say, song or dance, and you'd go, I'll sing. If you didn't sing or you didn't dance or didn't perform, you got battered. Absolutely battered.
Sing or dance?
Singing all day.
Or was the manager in on
You've
that as
seen me
well?
dance.
Was that just a player thing? Well,
That was just a players thing. That was your initiation and to test character to see how good they thought you were and where you'd get to.
Yeah. Do you think these days then, or not even these days, when you guys were playing, that Premier League players they get a bad rap because it's always just like, oh, footballers, where actually these things are in place that probably not a lot of people know about, that there is that respect thing and you're cleaning the boots and you're folding the kit and you're doing this.
I don't think it's in place as much now.
No.
But that's not that long ago. We're talking like, you only retired about 4 years ago, didn't you?
I don't think the kids do jobs anymore, do they?
No.
4 years?
Was it Al? How many?
Cheers.
15 months. Was it 15 months?
You retired me 4 years
I missed the last 3 years.
You was class last 3 years ago.
Thanks for that. Get me coat.
But so it has drastically changed, Wayne, hasn't it?
Massively, I think.
Yeah,
it has.
They don't. I think a lot of the kids, when I've been at City, 100%. The young kids with bowl in the dressing room were not.
Well, that would have been exactly. Because that wasn't that long ago. You were at City playing left back. So
it's quite a long time.
Well,
ago,
it doesn't seem like it. I mean, the money was still there, and it was all.
Yeah, I just thought if that was me as a kid, I'd be worried about walking in there. They just didn't care.
Yeah. But that's what I mean. That mentality now is there, which is why I wanted to get into your head. Those Brighton
I think they
kids.
get a deal sometimes. That's what I think. I think they get a deal, and it's kind of like they've made it.
Yeah.
So I think it depends how you are personally, because there are kids that have got good attitude and stuff like that. But for me, I was always. If I got a contract, I'd be thinking, right, I've got to play well because I need another contract.
Yeah.
So, they're 4 years.
Do agents get in your head as well, even at that young age? They're filling them with, like, you can do anything you want, that sort of mentality.
Depends what agent you've got, doesn't it? Depends what the agent's trying to do. Whether he's trying to make trying to make money to send you to get you a move and get a move and get a move just to make money himself. But if he's got the right or your best interest at heart, then he should look after you properly and just let you crack on with it.
Yeah,
but guide you in a way.
I think the way it changes now is obviously when we was coming through, you just get battered from senior pro, wherever it was. They'd see you if you was getting out of line or getting too big for your boots, and that's it. They're coming down you straight away. Whereas now, with the way it's all changing with youngsters and stuff. You got to be careful what you say. Now senior pros don't know what they can and what they can't say because with all this bullying stuff and that goes on. Yeah. So there's discreet kind of ways to do it now, and man management skills and communication skills that come into play now. Yeah. So it's not as a direct approach as sort of around the houses way now, which is for the good, yes, but you probably don't get the instant message that we had when we was coming through.
Yeah. Just finally, really want to your thoughts on this Zlatan Ibrahimovic quote, which is absolutely fantastic. He's basically come out and said that this is at his time at LA Galaxy, finished playing for LA Galaxy, and he said to the Galaxy fans, "You wanted Zlatan, I gave you Zlatan. You're welcome. The story continues. Now go back to watching baseball."
Class.
Brilliant. This is a man who compared himself to Jesus when he was at Ajax. He is certainly up there in terms of, would you say the most confident player?
Yeah.
You played against him, didn't you? When you were
with
Manchester United.
He's just one of them players, isn't he? Where you look at and you go.
But you can't argue with that.
I think when you can back it up, fair enough.
Yeah.
And if you've got that confidence to back it up, look, half the time when you're talking about before about the penalties and things, and you're sledging people, and you think. But to actually come out and say them quotes and then go and tear up the MLS or do it at Paris Saint-Germain, go to Man United, do it. The trophy hauls he's won is frightening. And there's a reason. You can back it up like that, phenomenal.
You have to be consistent though, don't you? If you're that level of confident and arrogant, arrogance.
He is, yeah. Everywhere he's been, he has backed it up.
There can't be a chink in the armour.
No, you can't show no weakness, can you? As well, but he's class, and I've got a lot of time for that. It's bordering on arrogance, but if you back it up and you walk the walk as long as the talk's good as well, then I'm a big fan.
I'd love to have been in a changing room with him.
Yeah.
Like just to see what he was like on a day-to-day, whether he was like that constantly, or whether it was like as soon as it got to a game situation, he was like, right, now I'll turn it on. Whether it's like a tap to him and he just goes, yeah, here we go.
Everything he says and he backs it up, I love it. There's players like Balotelli was a bit like him. I don't think he's backed it up as much, but I didn't find him funny or anything like some lads found him funny. I just didn't really get on with him that much. I remember Marino saying like, if he had a brain cell, he'd be a good player. Yeah, like. He had the attributes of everything, you know. He loved himself to bits, but he just never produced.
Yeah.
Whereas Zlatan, he just does it. You just can't help but laugh at his comments or like. You just take it because he's so good.
He had a few talking about cars, and bags, and he had a few things. He must have just rocked up and he didn't care what anyone thought.
Oh, he didn't care.
I used to see in Manchester him driving around, and there was some sort of different wrapped Bentley every week. He'd just get it re-wrapped every week, wouldn't he?
He just never cared about anything. Like he would literally turn up training and be like half hour late, and I'd run in, sorry to everyone, get my kit on, get out there as soon as possible. He just like strolls in on his phone. All right, sorry I'm late.
Really? What did Mancini say to that?
I don't think Mancini really dealt with him that way. He kind of let him get away with it. He was like his player. But I just didn't get it because he never really produced.
God, so you lose respect though, wouldn't you? From the rest of the players.
I think all the players knew there's nothing they could say to him either.
Yeah,
that's the frustrating thing.
When you look at this sort of Lampard structure that he set up with the fines, that if your phone goes off in the team meeting, it's I think it's a £500
had no money left, mate.
Imagine that.
20 grand on the spot for being late for training with Lampard, isn't it?
Well, 20 grand if you're late for on the pitch.
On the pitch, 20 grand. Yeah.
I like that though.
Yeah.
I think that's brilliant.
You're not late. You're not late.
You're not late. I would be late.
Exactly.
You're setting 5 alarms.
Yeah.
I think it's good though. I tried to do that when I went to Wigan, and we had like a lot of young players in the squad, and I tried to like implement fines, and it just got to the point where they go, I'm not paying that. I was thinking, how can you not pay it? You're late. And it wasn't like it was going to the club or it going to anything else. It goes to a Christmas party or it goes to the staff at Christmas.
Yeah.
So it's getting recycled properly.
Yeah. It's got to be implemented by the manager, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's got to come from the top for that to work.
But you'd be surprised how many captains do it.
Yeah.
And senior players will run the dressing room. Yeah. They'll run that system, and it's almost like the manager will say, "No, you've got to. That's for you to organise, and you adhere to the captain's sort of whatever he wants you to do."
The manager only gets in at the end, doesn't he? If the fines haven't been paid, and says that if it's not done within a week, it gets doubled. It's going to come out of your wages. Which is nice when it gets to that point because you know it's getting paid.
Yeah.
On the subject to talk about top players like Zlatan, the Paddy Power odds to win the PFA Player of the Year: Sadio Mane 7-2, Kevin De Bruyne 9-2, Raheem Sterling 6-1, Mo Salah 10-1, alongside Jamie Vardy 10-1 as well. Who do you fancy your money on there?
Sterling. At the moment.
Do you?
Yeah, if he carries on the way he's going.
Wow. Mane, yeah.
Depends who wins the league.
Yeah.
Does actually, yeah.
It does.
Just finally, I want to talk about, we mentioned Matty Upson earlier and wasting the £250 on Russia against Belgium. But during that game, I don't know if you guys saw it, Dedrick Boyata, another former teammate of yours, Wayne, he wore the wrong shirt. He picked up Michy Batshuayi's number 23 shirt by mistake and wore that in the first half before changing it at half-time for a correct one. Have you ever seen anything like that before? Someone's got Bridge 3 on the back.
The only one you've ever seen was Beckham. Do you remember Beckham got his England kit put wrong?
Well,
they spelt the name wrong, didn't they? I think they missed a K out or something like that.
Spelling Ibrahimovic is wrong this season. I don't know how that would have gone down with it.
Yeah, that'd have been bad.
I've not had a wrong kit, but the only one that I can think of for me was when I was at Fulham and I was on the bench, and the where the dugouts are compared to the dressing room is over the other side of the pitch. So I come out and I left my shirt in the dressing room, and I couldn't walk back to the dressing room. Obviously.
It's a long way.
It's a long way. Yeah, and you've got to walk past your away fans as well. probably getting absolutely battered because it's tight there, isn't it? So I didn't want to, obviously, to bring it to the gaffer's attention. So I had to say to the kit man, you need to run quick, really quick, and get my shirt, please. And he looked at me and he said, have you come out without your shirt? And I was like, well, I just didn't think. So that was the worst one for me. But yeah, I've not had no...
I've just forgot my shin pads.
You've got your shin pads?
Yeah. Just came out on the pitch and I was thinking...
Oh, what, you were starting and you forgot them?
Yeah, came out, started the game, and then my socks just started falling down. I thought...
Not over them calves.
no
chance.
No chance. You've got the biggest calves in football these.
Yeah, probably. Not far off. Not far off. Up there. Yeah.
Are they on Instagram? They're on your account, aren't they?
Yeah, they put one on Instagram. Yeah.
Something else that's been on Instagram recently is you running with James Milner in Dubai.
Wrong decision. Wrong running partner, didn't I?
What was the wrong decision? Running with James Milner or wearing the vest?
Probably both. I was nice and it was nice fit.
The vest was
snug.
Or the sunglasses.
There is.
I can't. Free him under.
What sort of distance are we talking here? What kind? This is Milner's international break training, isn't it?
It was 6 4-minute runs, so a K like every 4 minutes.
Yeah,
roughly. But he was doing them
just around the marina in Dubai.
Yeah,
very nice.
Good.
On that shirt subject as well, do you boys not wear? If you're on the bench, would you not wear your shirt underneath your bib or your training top?
No.
What's all that about? Is it not easy just to whip it off? There you are. You ready? You're on.
Managers get sweaty and horrible.
Managers go mental, aren't they?
You've
Pep
got
screaming at
jumpers
players,
on.
why aren't you ready?
Yeah, but you've got jumper on, you've got t-shirt on, or your kit, then a jumper, then your coat on, and you're running up and down getting sweaty. You want to feel fresh when you go on, if you get on.
You want to feel fresh.
I think that's the majority.
All those people smell that sweaty shirt.
Just want a dry one.
At Chelsea, Didier and Macaulay, they used to wear trainers, didn't they, on the bench? And especially in the winter, because it's one of them, isn't it? When your feet get so cold in boots rather than trainers.
Yeah.
I remember they were having trainers on, warming up in trainers. I was like, what are they doing trainers on?
It'll take forever. Get your boots on, get your shirt
imagine
on.
them now. Yeah.
If a manager wants you on, he wants you on, doesn't he? He wants you on straight away. Yeah. What with those shirts then? Do you have two? You guys were telling me earlier that if it's pissing down and you go in the dressing room at half time, it's all new kits on.
Yeah.
These are the things we don't see.
Strip club. It's the whole
Magic Mike.
So the boots are off. Even change your boots, isn't it? Sometimes change your boots.
Depends on how wet it is.
You could even go down to the whole, like your pants, slips, the whole lot could, if it's that bad, the whole lot will come off.
You think how heavy the kit goes and how heavy your boots go?
Could slow you down.
You're carrying a lot of weight, aren't you?
Anything to feel fast.
Just that half a yard
Anything to feel fast.
Yeah.
What about kit men? I know on the House of Rugby podcast, James Haskell's been banging on about the role of a kit man, and he got so aggressive. He was like, fucking kit man, they need to know their place. What are the kit man like in Premier League football? You're shaking your head already, Steve.
They are the heartbeat of the club. Seriously, the kit man is so important. Not just for laying out kit and knowing what every player likes and superstitions and how kits are laid out and stuff like that, but they just the room as well. Everyone just congregates to the sort of kit room, don't they? And just has banter.
I think everyone gets on with a kit man. I don't know. I've never not got on with a kit man.
Yeah.
And you got to keep him sweet as well, because you might want to nick someone's shirt one day. So you always got to keep him sweet.
Nick someone's shirt?
Well, you know, just
after the game,
get me a couple of shirts.
Oh right, I think nick one of your teammates' shirts.
Yeah, you could do if a mate's asking. I need a Didier shirt. Can you get me one?
But they are like institutions of the clubs, aren't they? A lot of them. They don't retire kit men, do they? They sort of have to be pushed out. I think Bruce. I think it's time you left now, and you've been here for 48 years.
They're there for the long haul, weren't they? The kit men.
It's a tough job to get that.
Who are the sort of any ones that spring to mind? Characters, City, Liverpool, any in the dress?
City's kit man. He's on that.
Chaffers,
He used to play.
He was funny. He's really, really funny.
Yeah.
Some of the stuff I probably shouldn't mention, but he's a funny guy.
He's a character.
Yeah, real character.
Been on a few nights out with him. He's
not the nights out. It was just entertainment for the lads.
Yeah.
You know, Billy the Masseur. He was a little bit like you could just get him to do anything.
Yeah.
But you know, you go on pre-season tours and like he'd entertain you every day.
What about England kit man? Less entertaining? Or is it more professional kit man?
A bit different, isn't it?
Yeah, keep them sweet if you want to.
I need a Beckham shirt.
I was wondering to get a little Beckham shirt on.
Oh yeah, I got one at the World Cup. I was like,
did you?
Do us a favour, can you do us a Beck shirt? Yeah.
What, they get to sign it?
Yeah.
Where's that these days?
In the house.
Is it?
Yeah.
Dear Stephen.
Tim,
can you make it out to Stephen, David?
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
And he always signs it the same, doesn't he? Love Becks.
That's nice.
It's a lovely touch.
Love Becks.
Yeah. Unless that was just for me, I don't know.
Right, that is it for this episode of Liquid Football from Joe, together with Paddy Power. My thanks to Wayne Bridge, Steve Sidwell and Stephen Warnock. Liquid Football will return next Monday, back with Kelly. You can download the podcast or watch us on YouTube. Please leave us a review as well if you like what you hear or what you see. We've also got a Facebook page to tell you about that. Just search for Liquid Football. You can get involved with the chat there. And don't forget to check out the other shows that we've mentioned. House of Rugby with James Haskell, or not with James Haskell, depending how long he lasts in the jungle. Is he going to win it, do you think?
Got a chance.
Got a chance.
Him or Wrighty, I'm going for.
Him or Wrighty. TKO with Carl Frampton and Pioneers with John Amici. Thanks for listening. See you next time.
You've been watching Liquid Football on Joe, sponsored by Paddy Power.